What if I told you there's a specific moment when your investments start earning more than your job? It's called the explosion point, and it's the financial milestone that changes everything. If you're curious about reaching financial independence faster, hit subscribe. We break down money strategies that actually work. The explosion point isn't about getting rich quick. It's about understanding compound interest, strategic investing, and patience. It's the moment when your passive income permanently exceeds your active income, and suddenly work becomes optional. Let me walk you through how this happens and why it matters so much to your financial future. Most people spend their entire lives trading time for money. You work 40, 50, sometimes 60 hours a week, and that job is your only real income stream. The problem is obvious. When you stop working, the money stops coming. But what if your money could work while you sleep? That's the foundation of the explosion point. It starts with understanding that there's a fundamental difference between earned income and passive income. Earned income is what you get paid for showing up and doing a job. Passive income is what your investments generate without your direct effort. The journey to the explosion point begins with a simple principle. You need to invest a portion of your earned income. This is where most people hesitate. They think they can't afford to invest, or they're too young to start, or the market is too risky. But here's the truth. The earlier you start, the more powerful compound interest becomes. Albert Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. When you invest money, it earns returns. Those returns earn their own returns. Over time, this compounds into something truly exponential. Let's talk numbers. Imagine you invest $500 every single month, starting at age 25. Assume an average annual return of 8%, which is historically reasonable for a diversified portfolio. By age 35, you'd have roughly $90,000. That's not just your contributions. That's your contributions plus the returns those contributions earned. By age 45, you'd have nearly $300,000. By age 55, you're looking at over $1 million. This isn't magic. It's mathematics. It's compound interest doing what it does best. Once you have a sizable investment portfolio, the annual returns themselves become significant. If you have $500,000 invested at 8% annual returns, you're making $40,000 per year without lifting a finger. That's more than many people earn working full-time jobs. If you have $1 million invested, you're looking at $80,000 in annual passive income. And you're earning $160,000 per year passively. The explosion happens when those numbers cross your actual living expenses. Consider someone who lives comfortably on $50,000 a year. If they've built an investment portfolio that generates $50,000 annually in passive income, they've hit their personal explosion point. They could theoretically retire tomorrow, travel the world, pursue passion projects, or start a business without financial pressure. The job has become optional. This is profound. This is life-changing. The path to the explosion point requires three critical elements. First, you need to earn money, either through a job, a business, or multiple income streams. Second, you need to spend less than you earn, which means living below your means and saving aggressively. Third, you need to invest those savings strategically. Many people focus only on earning more, but earning more without investing and saving is like filling a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You'll never accumulate wealth. Here's something important. The explosion point isn't just about reaching a number. It's about the psychological shift that happens when you realize your money is working harder than you are. Suddenly, your financial decisions change. You're not choosing jobs based purely on salary anymore. You're making decisions based on fulfillment, passion, and impact. Some people continue working because they love what they do, not because they have to. Others transition to part-time work. Still others use their financial freedom to start the business they've always dreamed about. The point is that you've regained control of your time, which is arguably humanity's most valuable resource. To accelerate your path to the explosion point, consider diversifying your investments. Don't put everything into a single stock or asset class. A balanced portfolio might include index funds, bonds, real estate, dividend-paying stocks, and perhaps some cryptocurrency if you're comfortable with higher volatility. The key is that your money is spread across multiple income-generating assets. If one underperforms, others compensate. It's about building resilience and consistent returns. Real estate is another powerful tool on the path to the explosion point. When you own rental properties, you're generating monthly cash flow. Your tenants are essentially paying down your mortgage while you collect the difference between the rental income and your expenses. Over time, that property appreciates and the mortgage gets paid off. You're building equity while generating passive income. Many people reach their explosion point faster through real estate than through stock market investments alone. Dividend-paying stocks deserve special attention too. When you own shares of a company that pays dividends, you receive quarterly or annual payments just for holding the stock. If you reinvest those dividends, you're compounding on top of compounding. Utilities, consumer staple companies, and established financial institutions often pay consistent dividends. A portfolio of dividend aristocrats, companies that have raised their dividends for 25 consecutive years or more, can generate steady, growing income with minimal risk. The timeline to your personal explosion point depends on several variables: your current age, your income, your savings rate, your investment returns, and your target annual passive income. A 25-year-old saving 30% of their income and earning 8% annually might hit their explosion point by age 45 or 50. A 40-year-old with the same parameters might need to work until 60. But here's the beautiful part. Once you understand the mathematics, you can calculate your own timeline. You can see exactly how many years you need to work if you're disciplined and strategic. Many people find this calculation incredibly motivating. Instead of working indefinitely with no clear endpoint, you have a target. You know that if you invest consistently, live below your means, and let compound interest do its work, you will eventually reach a point where you don't have to work. That's powerful. That's worth liking this video and subscribing for more strategies like this. We dive deep into financial independence and the practical steps to get there. As you approach your explosion point, your mindset shifts in other ways too. You become more intentional about how you spend your money. You realize that spending $100 today on something you don't truly need is spending money that could have compounded into thousands of dollars over 30 years. This isn't about deprivation or being cheap. It's about being intentional. You spend it generously on things that matter, experiences with loved ones, your health, your education, and you pass on the rest. You stop buying things to impress people you don't even like. One final thought. The explosion point isn't the finish line. It's a waypoint. Once you've reached it and your passive income exceeds your living expenses, you can continue building wealth. Or you can shift focus to other life goals. Some people keep working and investing, compounding their wealth further. Others step back and focus on relationships, creativity, or contribution. The beauty of hitting the explosion point is that you get to choose. Your time becomes yours again. Your money works for you instead of you working for money. And that's when life really begins. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more insights on building wealth that lasts.